Hey guys, Paul Cigar Life here. I'm going to do a review on the 30-year-old Graycliff. It's actually a really great African Cameroon wrapper with Nicaraguan and Honduran fillers. It also has Dominican fillers and a San Andreas binder. This is the 5.2 by 50. Its normal price points anywhere from $20 to $25 a piece usually, and it's supposed to be a really great smoke. I did the 10-year Graycliff. I really liked it. I did the 41-year-old Rocky Patel, so I'm really starting to like these vintage ones. I'm going to do a deep V cut with my Calibre here. So I like the Calibre, it just cuts so perfect. I do a crown cut, so it's basically a big X. And let's go ahead and get a little bit of 30 on 30 here. So some 30-year-old Scotch, 30-year-old smoke. Oh, I love that. Sorry guys, I might pour a big glass of Scotch, but I'm actually doing this review in the middle of the day. Well, not middle, it's about 3 where I'm at. So I don't feel too bad drinking as of yet. It's the weekend. Let's get some toasting done. One thing you gotta love about the camera, it helps you get a little toasty. Alright. See, no spot on it. Seems to be an easy draw. Good. That's good. I like that. Oh. Somewhat like the 10-year Graycliff a little bit. Same draw, same good construction. If you hear my kids in the background playing, sorry about that. This is the weekend during the day. I didn't want to do this one at night just because I wanted to make sure I enjoyed it all the way. Now let's see a little comparison in between this and my 10-year Graycliff. This one, it's got a tiny bit of spice, not too much. I think it has just a lot of sweetness, so that's what I'm tasting more, is that sweetness. Let's see what I was picking up on the Graycliff 10-year at this time. I've smoked a lot of cigars since then, so yeah, this is more medium to full body too. The Graycliff here is a medium. I picked up woody, a little bit of, well, about medium way on chocolate, medium way on earthy, and just a little bit of sweet. Some like tropical fruit flavor sweet, and it was a nice medium body. I rated that one a 92. I think it was rated a 91 from them. So for this one, I pick up more of the, I like to look at my flavor wheel here to where I know exactly what I want to try to look for. But leathery a little bit is good. I'm picking up about midway on the sweetness right now. It was sweeter when I first started. That's what it was. The retro inhale. That's a lot of sweetness. The spice is pretty much all but gone away. It's just starting out to be a really wonderful smoke. Can't rate it as of yet because, well, I smoked this much of it. I like to make sure I smoke at least 3/4 cigar before I give it a rating. It's a little bit stronger than the last time I remember. Of course, I think I remember the last glass. The last glass is never as strong as that first one. That paired together is nothing but sweetness. Right after you take a drink, you take a hit. That is just pure sweet. Nothing's like a good old Johnny Walker and cigar. I'm not really a cognac person. I like mixed drinks, really well aged drinks. I like the actual taste of alcohol, so I never drink my beers dressed. I like my drinks mixed strong, and I like to have a good alcohol in it. I'm not using a mojito to make sure I, can't taste the alcohol. I do it for the opposite effect. I make sure I taste the alcohol and I enhance it with the lemon and mint, or lime and mint, a little bit of club soda, and it's just a great drink, and it's really light on your palate. I haven't got some 20-year aged rum, but I don't like to use that unless I'm drinking just rum. I don't know, age doesn't necessarily make everything better, but the things it does make better, it does it exponentially. Like, I guarantee you can take a good cigar and try to age it, and when I learned about aging, there's peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. That's why they take cigars out and they smoke them and they try them and say, this is the time, this is when we need to quit aging it. Because you might be on a peak when you roll a cigar. It might be a good cigar 6 months later, but then you age it for a year and you're like, that doesn't quite taste as good. Then you throw another year in it, it's getting a little better. Then you throw 10 years in it and it's amazing. Year 11 starts to drop down. Everything kind of ages different. I heard the Nicaraguan ones, Nicaraguan filters or Nicaraguan cigars, they don't age quite as good. They actually age a lot longer. So it takes 10 years where it would have took you 3 before. I said Dominican's one of the best ones to age, but all these African Cameroon wrappers coming out, like the Rocky Patel. I had a guy ask me the other day online, how can Rocky Patel have a 1979 cigar when they started making them in 1990? Well, got me to thinking. So I started looking into it, and I found out that before you actually sell any tobacco from any farm or anything, before it's fixing to go on the market, you have to buy a SKU for the FDA to look into it and say, yes, you can sell this one. Well, he found all these SKUs that were old, and he went in and he bought all these SKUs, the 1990 SKUs, the 1992, 1979. He even bought a really older SKU that he doesn't want to talk about from the videos I found, that he made a very limited amount, and basically friends and family got it. And that's the ones I want to get, but he gave a few away. It's supposed to be like in the early 70s, maybe late 60s from what I understand. But he says this warehouse has 30-year-old tobacco constantly, 40-year-old tobacco constantly. They just made it whenever their farm was not a big deal. But the guy had enough money. Tobacco was not his main cash crop. So he just aged it, knowing that one day this is his retirement plan. And I don't know what he was waiting for to sell it, but Rocky Patel had to go find him and buy the tobacco. Graycliff, it tastes like that 1979 Rocky Patel. It tastes like that same Cameroon wrapper. It's not as refined. They didn't use the same binder or anything. It's not as good as the Rocky Patel 1979 so far, but it is a good smoke. I mean, it is worth $20, $25. You might say that's a little chemical burn I got. It's not a tattoo of a kangaroo running or something. It's a chemical burn. Mm. Oh. The bigger drink you take, the quicker it tastes even better. It's a good cigar. The spice has gone away. Sweetness is there. Nothing but leather. I'll let you know how it comes in on the next one. So let me come back after I need to ash, and we'll talk about it. Be right back, guys. All right, guys. It's getting close. Getting close to time to ash in here. And so far, it's a good smoke. It's milder than medium to full body when it started. It's more like a medium body. Let me look at it compared to the 1990 Rocky Patel. That's why I say keep any kind of journal for it, because it's going to help you out in remembering and comparing cigars. Yeah, it's what I thought. The 1990 has a different wrapper from the Rocky Patel. It's not as good as the 1979, which is kind of the same construction, different binder, a couple different fillers, but it's a good smoke. For my money, though, I like it because it's different. I don't want to smoke the same cigar over and over and over. I don't want to smoke all 1979 Rocky Patels, no matter how good they are. I don't want to smoke them all the time. That's why I like to do cheap cigars, factory smokes. I'm not going to buy any gas station cigars, so that ain't happening. My backwood days are back in the woods. So, with this one, I like it. It's a high-level cigar. Not ready to rate it as of yet, but it's definitely in the 90s. The 10-year Graycliff, let's see. That's a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper. It was a little bit less sweet than this, which is strange. Medium, rated a 92, medium body, woody, nutty, earthy. Yeah, that one is the one I said reminded me a little bit like a Cuban. It was like a really great Cuban. But they have completely different constructions. It's not like the 10-year cigar that has got aged 20 years more. It is a whole nother one of its being. Personally, I'm not finished with this one yet. I had to take the wrapper off. Then I actually lose in my book. So depends on what kind of mood it is. If I had to pick a stick between the 10-year and the 30-year, depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I will say this. The 10-year was harder to pick up notes than this one. This one, the flavors are pronounced. It's more refined. It's good. I really like the flavor of it. It's not quite what I was thinking, Maduro. I did hear about them start to come apart a little bit. As you can see, that one's starting to. But I think that's just because it might have been cracked in shipping. When it heated up, it showed a little more. Definitely didn't crack during cutting, because the brand new Calibre deep V cut, that thing is sharper than a razor blade. It is a beast. It is well worth the money on Amazon to get one. I'm not really a punch type of guy. A lot of people do like doing punches, clove release, stuff like that. If I have my cigar and I'm out somewhere and I don't have a good cutter with me, or I stop somewhere, I usually like to carry a lighter no matter what. And I have a couple lighters with little punches built into them. Not much, but if I'm in a pinch, I'll punch a cigar. There's a lot of people that really like punches, a lot of people that hate V cuts, a lot of people like flat cuts. I got different cutters for different cigars. This ring gauge, this length, I like to do a deep V cut. To me, it just kind of gets, I don't know, a little bit more flavor for me. That makes sense. It's just like if an air filter in your house. Everybody's got air filters that have the corrugated waves in them, right? Corrugated waves mean more surface area. More surface area means more airflow. If I cut it flat, that's how much airflow I get. If I cut it corrugated, I actually get a little more airflow out of it. That's why I like the crown cut. If you do just a deep V cut, a regular guillotine cutter is going to give you more airflow. But you get a crown cut, kind of gives me the waves and gives me more airflow. I like it better. I didn't know you're going to get cigar review and physics lessons as well, right? Well, let me ash this. It's good scotch, but that much of it's already catching up to me. So I'll be back on the next ash, guys. Guys, it's about that time to ash again. Don't want to ash on the floor anymore. On accident. My wife doesn't like that. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. First half of it, I was ready to rate it lower than the Graycliff 10-year. That's just for my own personal preference. I still think it was 92 quality. The Graycliff 10-year, definitely, both of them I smoked were a good quality. I'd have to say 91, 92 all day. 92 more like it. Smoked the Cohiba Red Dot 91. It's just the Graycliff 10-year was better. This one's turning out to be a really great cigar. It's one of those that the more you smoke it, the more it comes alive. It's got more pronounced flavors than before. Which they were already more pronounced than a 10-year Graycliff anyways, but you get a lot more sweetness on the end. It's just good. Maybe the fact of drinking a little bit more than half a glass of scotch with it, but it's getting better. I don't know. Something changed inside the matrix of this thing. When I retro in hell, I still pick up that spiciness, but that sweetness is so pronounced. It's even smoother. Now it's getting more of that, more of a fuller body, that medium to full. It is definitely a stick worth buying. As of right now, I would give it a 91. The Graycliff 10 years a 92. I'm not finished with this yet. Graycliff, I've heard it's described as a masterpiece, a work of art. It's good. It's actually great. It's not a work of art. I wasn't particularly a Rocky Patel fan until that 1990 and that 1992. And even if you get the Renaissance Habano wrapper and you age that yourself for just 2 years, it makes a heck of a difference. The first cigar to the last cigar, if you smoke one of those a month, is absolutely amazingly different after 2 years. It is great if you age it. I think all the difference in this one and the Rocky Patel is San Andreas binder. The Rocky Patel had a, let's see where's the Rocky Patel, Ecuadorian binder. San Andreas binder might not just age as good as the Ecuadorian. But then again, smoking cigars for almost 20 years now. Since I was old enough, actually since before I was old enough to smoke cigars. And I've had every type of flavor you can think of. When I worked offshore, I've smoked every Cuban cigar you can think of. Once they find out I'm the safety guy, I'm the paramedic, I'm the one saving their life, I'm the one doing anything that has to be done, I'm the one making their life easy, or I'm the one making their life hard. Anybody that has a safety guy hates that guy. I was not that safety guy. If you're out there working all day on the rig, I'll bring you your lunch. I'll bring you a nice jug of ice cold water. I'll put an ice chest out there for you and tie it down to where it's safe. I'm the guy that if you tell me it's an unsafe job and there's no way to do it safely, I'll look at you and say, do it your best. We'll write it up. I'm going to walk away for an hour. When I come back, hopefully it's done. Now you can appreciate that, because if you're smoking cigars, watching this channel, most likely you're my type of guy. You're a hard-working, everyday guy. And when I say hard-working, you must understand what these are. High visibility shirts. Gotta wear them when you're working a real job. I hate the vest. I don't like wearing vest. I wear the high vis shirts. The everyday real working man out there understands that if you have a good safety man, life is easy. If you don't have a good safety man, life is hard. So they would bring me the best cigars they could find, not because they're trying to bribe me, because they liked me, because I take care of them. They've come to me of something that would send them home. So offshore, a lot of stuff will send you home, but me, I get to take care of it. I get to fix it. I'm going to throw in a little bit of personal story here, not violating any HIPAA rules or anything, but I had a guy come to me offshore before wearing a head covering, and I saw a little something sticking out from underneath the top. I said, take off your do-rag, man. I said, why? I said, what's that on your head? He says, eczema. My doctor's got me on a $600 cream that I have to refill every 2 weeks. It's making it worse. I don't think it's making it better. I said, how long have you had this eczema? He said, 25 years I've had this eczema. And I looked at him and said, let me mix you something up. So I took athlete's foot powder. I mixed up Lanacane. Didn't tell him what it was. I said, leave that cream off your head. Use this for a week. Let me check it out in a week. A rig of 600 people. It's kind of hard to keep track of one guy. Came back 3 days later. It's almost all gone. After a week, his hair started to grow back. He said, what did you give me? I said, you're going to be mad at your doctor for 25 years. He said, what do you mean? I said, when you dry yourself off, you don't dry your head off first, do you? You dry your feet off. He said, drying your feet off first only makes sense. You dry it from the bottom up, you get all the water is going down. Which, and the laws of physics and gravity, yeah, it makes sense. The laws of keeping your head clean, you dry your face off first. You know, you dry your dirty parts off, your feet, all your other areas, last, because you got a nice clean towel. He had athlete's foot on his head for 25 years. He's been using expensive creams, UV lights, everything you could think of to get rid of this. His hair was fully grown back almost. I mean, he was sticking out that far after a month over all of his head, and he had no more signs of it. He was happy and angry, but when we got back, we all went into town together, of course. He says, you like smoke cigars, right? I said, yeah. He pulled a box of Cohiba El Presidentes out. Beautiful cigars, hard to find, good vintage. And we're in Mexico, so he probably didn't pay too much for it. But he said he went to 6 different shops down there to find it. And I appreciated those. And then it was the time that you can't bring them through customs. So I had to stick them in the bottom of a medical bag. And when you go through customs, they ask you, do you have any sharp objects, drugs, explosives? They go through a list, and I say, yes, I have sharp objects, drugs, and explosives. They said, what do you mean? I said, I have needles, drugs, and nitroglycerin paste because I'm a paramedic, and I got to carry all that with me. And customs usually gives me the same answer. Okay, go ahead. Not the answer you would expect to get. But I got through with a lot of good cigars. A bunch of different times. And then we were able to bring them back. I just filled my backpack full, took the wrappers off of them, and I'd be able to say, "Hey man, those are Dominican. those aren't Cuban. Those are Dominican. I bought them cheap down there," knowing that I had 1,000 Cuban cigars packed away in a Pelican case. All right, guys, I'm gonna come back the next time I have to ash, and so far, so good. It's getting better. It's not just a Scotch. Alright guys, I'll be back with y'all in a minute. Alright guys, coming down to the last ash here. Well, I'm probably going to ash it one more time before I put it out, but flavor profile has pretty much remained the same. I'd have to say I'm really happy with it. When I first started out, I started to get a little disappointed. Just because it didn't stack up to the other 30-year-old ones I've smoked. I got some Nacho Libre 1990s coming, and we'll see how it stacks up. But with this one, it really surprised me. I even had to refill my Scotch here. The burn time was extra long. And this video is 26 minutes. It's probably been another hour of burning before it's all said and done. I sat here for an hour and a half already just smoking this thing, and it's amazing long burn, amazing flavor. I'm going to rate it the same as a 10-year. I'm going to give this a 92. I wouldn't go higher than a 10-year. I don't believe it is a better stick than the 10-year. I believe they're both just as good. It's just for different flavor palettes, different notes, what you like better. If you like the African Cameroon wrapper, really good wrapper. If you like aged cigars, it's a really good aged cigar. It's definitely better than if it was not aged. It's definitely better than a lot of cigars I've smoked. It is better than the Cohiba Red Dot. It is not better than the 10-year. They're the same. Same smoothness. Same good retro. It's a good pairing cigar with nice aged whiskey or Scotch. I just I can't rate it higher than the 10-year. Tell you the truth, the 10-year might be a little bit better for my taste. If you like a little bit of the pepper leathery and the good sweetness in it, you'll probably really love this one. I do like the pepperiness. I loved it in the 1979 Rocky Patel. It was great. But in this one, it comes and goes. I mean, it's back. The Rocky Patel were the same flavors. It just got better and better throughout. And this one, like the 10-year. The 10-year had different flavors, but the flavors enhanced. They went through a whole flavor profile of its own. I mean, it was its flavor profile. This thing has Tourette's. I mean, it's just 1 minute it's a different flavor than another. I don't know if it was this one was the binder. I am going to smoke another 30-year-old one when I get the 5-box in. It's just it's not a consistent on flavor as the 10-year Graycliff. Don't get me wrong. If you say, "Hey, would you like a 10-year Graycliff or a 30-year-old Graycliff?" Depending on the night I'm smoking and what I'm drinking, 30-year-old and 10-year-old are going to be a toss-up for me. I mean, I like the 10-year, but this one it's got more pronounced flavors, but they keep changing on me. Like right now, the pepper's back. A lot of the sweetness has gone away. Leathery is almost completely gone. It's got like a little bit of fruity taste to it. It's not what it was when it started. It's a great cigar. When I sit back, excuse me, when I sit back and I smoke a cigar, I like to be pleasantly surprised. I like to smoke and go, wow, that's better than I thought. I think my expectations after smoking the 41-year-old Rocky Patel were just too high for this. I thought it was going to be right up there in his class. I thought it was going to be hands down better than the 10-year. It's not. It's the same goodness. but I like to have the exact same cigar flavor profile. It's a long filler, but you know how they break it off and they stick other pieces in there? I think that's what I've got, because I'm just picking up more of one than the other. Pepperiness went away. Well, it's gone, almost completely gone. That's what I mean by the cigar. On that retro, I got woody now. I haven't gotten woody this whole cigar, and now I'm getting woody. Guys, good stick. Gotta try it. It's not going to be hands down better than the 10, but it is equally just as good. That is saying something. This is a great stick. It is not a flavor profile that my wife would like. She likes the 10-year Graycliff. She likes that more woody sweet. She doesn't like any of the peppery finish you're going to give the Cameroon wrapper or anything like that. But it is definitely an amazing stick. I like it. Sitting here smoking it, it's not something I'm disappointed in. It's just it shouldn't be hyped up to be better than the 10 years, what I'm saying. Well, guys, this Monday is going to be the last day you can enter for the Tuesday drawing. Monday night is when I do the video for the Tuesday drawing. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. To my giveaway video, you put done on Facebook or put done on the giveaway video. Right now, as of right now, we have 16 people entered. So 16 people will be getting a very nice Cohiba Red Dot. I believe I put a factory smoke in there, and also I can't remember what the other one is, but it's posted on Facebook there. I'll also tell you what it is in the giveaway video. But we're definitely going to be giving those away. I'm also going to include a couple Cigar Life stickers to put on your humidor, give to your buddies, put on your hard hat. They're all weather, not really made for cars, or a little too small for that. I'm not going to try to advertise you and have you driving around Cigar Life. You can if you want to. People are going to have to look close, but it's made more for a personal thing, not for advertising purposes. And as always, guys, take that minute out of your day. Think about all the good stuff in your life, all your love, and have a good cigar and a good life, guys. See you all in the next video.